to, it's not. But I would like to open the floor up to ask for, Minister Clyde, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation, please?
Yes.
Please stand with us if you'd like.
If all hearts and minds are clear. Heavenly Father, Creator, we thank you for this opportunity once again to take part in the leadership that you have granted us, be it from the pulpit, or be it from within the community, or be it from the dais. We recognize you, Father, as the giver of all gifts. We ask, Father, this evening as we go forward, that the board and the people in attendance allow your Holy Spirit to weave through them. We ask you, Father, to continue to watch over and to inspire ethics, accountability. All these things we ask in the name of the Creator. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. We will now move on to additions and deletions. Are there any? If there are none, we will continue on with the approval of the agenda. I'll now entertain a motion, Alderwoman Cooper, followed by Alderman Palacios.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We'll now go on to consent items of the draft minutes for the January 23rd, 2023 work session, the January 26th special meeting, and the February 3rd special meeting. Alderwoman Cooper.
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comments. We will begin with Sergeant Utley, Spring Lake Police Department, with an update on the Special Olympics.
Good evening. My name is Sergeant Utley. For y'all that don't know me, I've been in Spring Lakes, been working here off and on since 2006, pretty much on and off. Anyway, I've taken over for Sergeant McCormick. He was over this program, but he retired this past year, so it fell to me. So I just want to give you an overlook of what we did last year and what we're planning to do this year. So last year, we raised $11,661.21 throughout the year. That was through fundraisers, donations, sale merchandise, buy t-shirts, things of that nature, and that ranked us 27th out of 100 police departments and agencies, which is pretty good, I think, for a small department. And that puts us on the new shirt for this year that we're going to sell this year on the back of it. So did that. So this year, myself and Officer Hoffman, which will be assisting me this year, we attended a kickoff conference up in Cherokee, North Carolina this past week. And the conference is basically to tell us about new fundraisers, things that's going on this year, things that we can get involved with, ideas. It's about networking, basically. So we had a fundraiser there. They did a polar plunge there. We did a silent auction, which we donated an item, and we raised a little over $100 for it at silent auction. So that was pretty good. And they revealed a new t-shirt while we're there. So this year they have a lot of different fundraisers, and they're trying to do it where all departments are doing it together, certain things. So one thing we will do this year, we're gonna do a polar plunge that's gonna be in Greensboro at Emerald Park, Water Park, next Saturday. We put it on the website on our Facebook page, Police Department's Facebook page. We have to raise at least $50 before the event so we can participate in it. And all you do is go to the Facebook page, click on the link, it takes you to another web page, and you donate, however much it is. Or you can join us. Myself is gonna do it, Officer Hoffman, Chief is gonna participate in it, and a couple of other officers from the department. So hopefully we can raise a little bit of money doing that. And all the money, even though with other agencies, we're doing it all together, but what comes to us comes back to us. So we'll do that. We also have a no shave that we do every year. We've done like that this last 3 or 4 years, as you can see. Officers pay $25 a month to be able to grow the beard out throughout the year. We also got the torch run, which is set for April 29th this year. We also gonna do, we have a, there's another couple other things called Cop on Top, and
It's called what?
Cop on Top. Well, we actually put the chief on top of a building, mainly Walmart. And hopefully we can get the mayor to participate in this one this year too.
I am not Rihanna.
But and the purpose of that is people donate money to get them off the roof, basically, you know. But we're advertising that. They also have another thing called the plane pool, which is being done in Raleigh this year, which is gonna be done in October. We plan to try to be involved with that also. So with that, we sell our merchandise, our t-shirts. We're gonna be going to Walmart throughout, starting in March.
Your time is up.
Yeah,
Your
I'm sorry.
comments.
I'm sorry.
I have to be respectful.
Yes,
Next
I
time,
understand.
make sure, just let us know, even if we have to do some adjusting, we will make room.
Can I show you the t-shirt real quick?
Yeah, show it quickly.
All right.
Hey, Chief, if we donate, does that also?
We can't respond to public comments. That's what it is.
Here's a comment, I'm not gonna put it on you.
But this is the new t-shirt, the one with green this year.
These are awesome.
And on the back, our department's back here. So they're $20 again this year.
We will have you back next board meeting. You can do a full presentation. That way we don't have to cut you off.
I got
Because
you.
this is something super
Yes.
important.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Next we have, is that Crystal? Is she here? There, you're hiding in the back. Thank you for coming again.
Good evening, board and mayor.
Good evening.
I see that you have an agenda about the no littering bags. I wanna also say maybe like poop bags. I see a lot of people walking dogs. In the Holly Hills community, I thought we had some money set aside to clean our ditch. The ditches that we had went through the process pretty far. Maybe not with this particular board right here. They had got to the point where they were asking people, was it okay for them to remove their fences? You know, got pretty far. It's when we had our community board watch, when we were very, very active in our community at the time. Some of those people are kind of old and elderly. Whenever we look for the town manager, I want to make sure that all candidates go through the same interview and the interview process. All of them go through the same thing, same interview, you know. And I want to ask 3 questions because the 87 has brought the whole Spring Lake to a standstill, and I want to be very fair about what I'm about to ask. I want to know what responsibility does the property owner have of that graveyard, whomever it is. I don't know who it is. I want to know who's in charge of that water that goes up under, because that property has been sinking for a long time. And I want to know, where can the town interject by, you know, not saying sometimes there's nothing that they can do. How can everyone network together to make this, because that land has been sinking a long time. And I just want to be fair of all three parties, perhaps, of what's going on in that, because it has affected everybody, not just me. In the same instance with the big lot parking lot. What is the conjunction with the town that always say there's nothing they can do? So I can go to the gym, I can go to the grocery store, but when I come out, I have to go through bumps and mess up my car with holes all in the ground up by the Pizza Hut where the new, car wash is gonna be. I don't understand how that connects. And for the police chief, I wanna know, every time we have something that goes on in Spring Lake, why don't we have an official announcement from someone official to let us know where we're standing at? You don't have to go in detail, but just to say, hey, this did happen in Spring Lake. You ain't gotta tell us everything, who it was, who mama, who daddy, but to let the citizens know you are secure, we know what happened. We just wanna address you from a professional, from a police department. I hear things on the news, just say things happen, but I want somebody official to address me and let me know if somebody's still running around this community or something that's going on. I'm a citizen here, I've been here for 46 years. This is where I live at, this is my livelihood, where I go to church and where I live. And I demand respect. My time is up, that's all I had to say. Thank you so much, y'all have a good evening, and thank you for every time I needed a question, it's always been answered.
Thank you.
I wanna say thank each and every one of them. Have a good evening.
All right, and we have Mr. Brian McLean from Fit to Life. Oh, there you are in the corner.
Yes. Coming straight from work. I'm gonna say good evening, Mayor, board members. My name is Brian McLean. I'm the new general manager for Fit for Life here in Cameron by the Walmart. Now, this gym has been there for around 6 years, so to speak, and a lot of turnover in management. But I'd like to tell you that I personally am taking over the last 5 months and changing the lifestyle and how the gym is. Having more community events, having, of course, open gym like it starts today, so anybody from the area can go to the gym Monday through Friday for free to try the equipment, the classes, Zumba, yoga, Pilates, spin, you name it, all right? But my whole obligation is not just to have a gym, of course, and promote it, but my object is also to make sure that each and every one of you have opportunity to get a workout, to be involved in the community as well as I am. So I'm just asking everyone here to just give us a notoriety, come by the gym, see what we have to do, see what we have to offer, and I get it. As far as money, I get it that people are scared of price and things like that, but my question to you rhetorically is that how do you invest in things that you always spend money on? I.e. Amazon, i.e. different things that you like to spend money on, but invest in your health. Invest in that, because that can change your life and change your children's lives as well. We do have 24/7 access, so for those who can't work, can't make the gym in those hours, the gym is open to you. All right, we have group classes, like I stated before, childcare. And a lot of men and women have kids that they can't afford to go to the gym because they say they don't have the time. Well, here at our gym, we do have childcare for certain hours. And of course, you get 2 free personal training sessions too as well. And as I said, an assessment. So to see where your body is, to see how your body is limber, or can you stretch, can you not? Because I know a lot of people have health risk, right? Diabetes and things of that sort. Or they want to lose weight to be healthy. It's still 2023, it's February, so you still have time to change. But my question, again, rhetorically, is that what are you trying to do that? And I'm all about helping out the community. So if there's any organization that needs some kind of exposure, please come to me. I'm the general manager. If you guys need something from the town of Spring Lake to promote and help, let me know and I can help do that. I'm all about the community, but I need to let everyone know that, hey, I'm here with the rest of the gym members and the community to say, hey, whatever we need to do for any organization that can help out, we're here to help you guys. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much.
Don't leave. Oh, don't leave yet? Oh, I gotta go back. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to our presentation. We have the Rape Crisis Center of Cumberland County, Mr. George Watson. Would you like to approach the podium?
So thank you, Mayor and board members for allowing me to come and talk with you guys. So a little bit about the Rape Crisis Center, which we are also known as the Phoenix Center. We've been in Cumberland County since 1976. So my purpose today is to ensure that we incorporate the town of Spring Lakes in our services, because we see that a lot of our victims and the clients that we service, a lot of them are not coming from Spring Lake, they're coming from the other Hope Mills and Fayetteville mostly. So that's the purpose of this, so I can bring awareness to what we do and the services that we provide. So some of the services that we provide is we have a 24-hour crisis hotline open. It's 7 days a week. It's ran by both our volunteers and our staff members. And that number is on there, 910-485-7273. Again, that crisis line is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. We do emergency room response. So we, again, 24 hours, 7 days a week, we will respond to Womack, Cape Fear, even Hope Hospital and the VA hospitals with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And we will accompany them, help them through the process of getting a rape kit done, explaining to them the process afterwards, ensuring that law enforcement, if they want to report it, is well aware of what's going on. And we make sure that they have a set of clothing to leave in, because sometimes that clothing is taken for evidence purposes. And then we'll talk to the staff and law enforcement on behalf of the victims sometimes. So basically, we're advocating for them through the medical system and the hospitals. We do counseling referrals. We do not have licensed counselors, but we have plenty of referrals that we often put our clients through. We help them with that process, and we do follow-ups with them to make sure that now we don't send them to counseling and not follow up with them. We constantly looking after them, making sure that they're progressing, making sure that if they need another referral, we work on them with that. Support groups. So we started our female support group, and we're trying to get our male support groups up and running. We had our first meeting last week for the female support group, and it's for ages 18 and over. So under the age of 18, we recommend them to go to the Child Advocacy Center. And it's in our facility, which is on Ramsey Street, 519 Ramsey Street. And it's a discreet building, so there's no signs saying who we are. So the people that comes there for any type of services or our support group can feel like they're not being watched, or the public is not knowing that business, basically, trying to figure out why they're going into a rape crisis. Because we do not have signs that advertise that we are a rape crisis center. And that's so they can feel like they have a safe place to go. It's every 2 weeks, and they can just simply call that number that I gave you before, 485-7273, to do an assessment over the phone. And we do courtroom advocacy. So when we go to court with them, we explain the process to them. We talk to the DA's office on behalf of them. We go to first appearances, we go to bond hearings, we testify on bond hearings on behalf of our victims. We also may testify on first appearances or in the other court proceedings that the victim is going through. And we do legal aid referrals for the DVPO, for the domestic violence protection orders. We do law enforcement advocacy. We set up interviews. We go to the interviews with the victims. We conduct monthly reviews with law enforcement. So we go over our cases that we have with law enforcement, and we get updates on those cases that we're tracking. And then we will relay that back to our victims. And we will make sure that, the victims are getting everything they're supposed to be getting as far as being that law enforcement is doing everything that they can for their cases. We have good partnership with Cumberland County, all the law enforcement, the state, and the military. e-filing. This is our biggest. So we help victims at our facility to file for 50B protection orders. And we do those at Monday through Friday, 8 to 12:30. So they just come in, we help them out with the paperwork. We have video chat with the courthouse, and then they will get a decision on that protection order before they leave our facility. So one of the benefits of coming to us versus going to the courthouse is that we can sit down and explain that paperwork to them. And, you know, it can be intimidating looking at all that paperwork and they trying to figure out, they going through that crisis right now. So we'll help them out with that paperwork, where the courthouse, they can't do that. They can't sit down, they can't have the time to help them with that paperwork. And oftentimes the courthouse will call us and we will go down to the SafeLink office and we will help victims down there as well. Safety planning, we will help construct the safety planning for victims that's trying to get out of a domestic violence situation, and we will personalize it to their situation. And then we do the address confidentiality program, which they come to us, we'll do the paperwork for them, and we'll send it off, and then we'll help them through the process of getting that address confidential, so it'll be free from any state's public records. And this is a good thing for families of victims that's trying to get out of a domestic violence situation. So we do also things like this, community awareness. So we set up community events. We speak at universities, we speak at churches, we speak at businesses. Anywhere that we feel that there's an urgency to talk about sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, stalking, any of those situations, to make the public aware of what we're doing. And we have our once a year Walk a While fundraiser event where men will donate money, they will put on high heel shoes, and then they will walk down Hay Street. So all the proceeds that we collect during that fundraiser will go straight to our victims to give them support. So what I do, I work cold cases. So my job is mainly, I will work with victims whose cases are like 15, 20, 30 years old. We have a case coming up in March where it's a 30-year-old case, a victim from off of Ramsey Street. So we finally got him. We participated in the Ramsey Street rapist case, the Johnny Green case. We were able to put those guys behind bars for like 28 plus years. So we work as a team. I work with the DA's office and law enforcement, and then we also have a cold case detective within the Fayetteville Police Department. But those services that I provide for cold cases are for all the departments. So I try to manage all the departments' cold cases, and my main job is to notify the victims. When new evidence come up and we have to reopen that case, I will go and I will do the notification process for those victims. And again, we just go through, we also hold cold case reviews monthly with law enforcement to get any updates. Other services that we help, we assisted in passing bills for DNA collection for more crimes. We helped pass a bill for hospitals not charging victims for rape kits getting done. And we also recently just gave FSU, or we allocated money for FSU to run their sexual assault nurse examiners course that they have here. And again, our number is 910-485-7273. I don't know if I got time for questions, but.
So first off, thank you and your organization for what you do. That is a very, very difficult, but very, very necessary service that you guys are providing. So thank you for bringing this information out to Spring Lake, because as you said, you're not getting reports from Spring Lake, but I can guarantee you there needs to be reports coming from Spring Lake. So providing this service to our citizens is huge. So
Yes.
the very first order of business is I need you to introduce you to our police chief.
I'm well aware, we've been talking for a
Absolutely.
while, yes.
And that's what we want to hear.
Mhm.
That you already know, you're already in there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I am just super impressed with not just your service, but the fact that it's full service.
Yes.
It's full circle service from the referrals, the follow-up, the advocacy, the future planning, the discretion and protection. That is huge for and speaking from a victim's perspective, to understand that I can go to an agency and have somebody help me through one of the most, traumatic and quite frankly could be embarrassing
Yes.
times. So thank you for what you're doing, even to provide services to men.
Yes.
And that's an extremely underserved
It is.
community when it comes to sexual assault, sexual trauma, domestic violence and abuse. Men are victims as well, so to make sure that there's an avenue for men, that's another major factor. So again, thank you for getting this in front of our community.
Yes.
And anything that the town can do to assist, I'm sure that the board will back me on. We stand with you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No
Thank you for
problem.
your time.
Alderwoman Cooper, wait, don't, you're still in the hot seat. We've got a few red lights going on. We've got some questions to be asked.
Okay.
So I also want to thank you for presenting this, and hope that we can work together to maybe do some type of awareness workshop.
Definitely. Yes,
I
ma'am.
know FTCC did the human trafficking, and you probably all participated in that. And I think we need more awareness. I can speak for my generation, even though it wasn't a woman's fault, they were always vilified and, when something like that happened to them. So this is, this is really refreshing to see this.
Yes.
And, I see your number is a local number. I hope one day there'll be a national number that will route to, local offices, so that it's more of a, like a 611 or
Yes.
811, just a number, because I really think that's needed. So I do want to thank you, and I appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much.
Alderwoman Johnson?
I just have a question. Thank you, also for coming out and, taking time out. But you said you talked to churches as well?
Yes,
So,
we go to, we talked at Simon Temple. We did the event there at Simon Temple where we talked about our services and everything. So anywhere that we can get the opportunity to put the word out, to let the public know, what services are out there. And it's not just us, so we collaborate with all resources. So we send them out, so whatever we can't do, we know where to send them. And that's why we're trying to do this expansion right now.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? Thank you so much. We
All right,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to agenda item 7B, the electric vehicle call report. Ms. Deanna. She's our stormwater administrator. Deanna Rosario. Coolest hair ever. She's got the coolest hair in town, granted. Thank you.
All right, well, about a week and a half ago, I received an email from the state saying that the VW grants were still open for chargers. And we can get reimbursed up to $5,000 for having public chargers on town land. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I talked to a lady from ChargePoint, which runs about 75% of the chargers in this area. And to put a dual level 2 charger in, which would charge 2 cars at the same time, would be about $2,400 a year for 5 years. All we would have to do is prepare the site for them, have the electricity run, have a pad built. And in that subscription period, they take care of the hardware, they take care of the software, and anything else does with that charger. And we can still charge a nominal fee for it to recoup the cost of the electricity, because we're not PwC, we can't just give it away. So, the DC fast chargers are much more expensive. They cost about $12,000 a year to subscribe, and they have to have much more extensive electric work. They can fully charge a truck the size of mine in about 45 minutes. The level 2 chargers, it would take about 6 to 8 hours. But most people coming in to charge are not gonna be sitting there trying to charge up their entire car at one time. They wanna come in off of their traveling, hook up, maybe go eat on Main Street, fill up a couple of, get 20 miles or so back on their battery, and then head where they're going. So this would make us a stopping point, and I don't see my screenshot up there. It didn't take pictures. Oh, okay.
It's in our agenda packet, that you're talking about
Yes.
the location of it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in our.
So, ChargePoint has a map, and it does show that Spring Lake is in a charging desert. It's kind of like the grocery store desert, but with chargers.
Interesting.
And we are in an excellent position to be a location for chargers because we have 210 and 87 converging right down the street. So what we can do, this is my suggestion. This is my suggestion, is we put in 1 or 2 dual chargers at Veterans Park, put one there, and then over here in the parking lot down here as a test run and see how that goes. And if it's popular, we can convince business owners to expand and do the same thing and eventually get our own chargers put in for, hopefully in the future we'll have electric or hybrid vehicles for the town. So we'd have some place to charge them too. Excellent. So look, like I said, level 2 charger. Sorry, I don't normally talk in a group. All know I like to talk. I'm just not. I forget. So parks are good places for them. They have several in the parks in Fayetteville, Mazarick Park, the one by the Cape Fear River Trail, and there's a few others. So I mean, there is a precedence to have them, and once we get on a map, people will come. So that's. I do have a Zoom meeting on Wednesday to talk with their salesperson, and I am researching other companies to see what they can offer. I'm not just going to go with ChargePoint because that's what I use. So, any questions?
I do have a few, but you just tagged a few in your presentation, so thank you for that. Thank you for the diligent work and the foresight to go ahead and start moving on this. This is, it's been talks, there's been whispers around it. We see the move happening throughout the nation. So thank you for having, the foresight and the initiative to move on this.
Well, like I said, I want someplace to charge up my truck.
That's see a need, feel a need. One of my biggest questions is have we, and I know you and I have talked about this too, with FAMPO, have we tagged them in this, in any sort of funding? Because, there's several grants.
I briefly talked with DeLoma from FAMPO on Friday night at the hockey game. I did talk more. I talked more with my friend Denise Bruce. She's back at Sustainable Sandhills, and she was telling me a whole list of places that we could obtain money. So we're going to be working together on that.
I would definitely reach out to Hank. There's millions of dollars.
Yes.
Sustainable Sandhills was definitely on the radar as well, and I believe they were mentioning something about it with RULAC.
We have a meeting on Thursday, and I will
Becky.
find someone to talk to.
I will be there for that one
Okay.
as well. So those are definitely some avenues to go down to get the funding, because my next question is, how are we going to pay for electrification or electrifying these charging stations? To get this station put in, that there's money for that, and I see, I'm assuming that that's what the subscription plan is for.
Yes.
It's for the actual station, but to electrify those stations, we've got to have electricity coming in from somewhere, be it a building and that costs money. So who's going, can we look into funding for that? Or, because I know that's not what we can charge on those electrified stations to the actual people plugging in isn't enough to sustain the electrification, at least not in the beginning. So that's next question.
Yes, we could charge more than what Duke charges us for electricity and recoup some of that to pay back into the EV program. I personally would like to see an EV program funding source started somehow. I'm not the financial person, so, you know, I just come up with the ideas and
They find me some money for this.
legally. But yes, there is financing available. I just have to search for it.
But FAMPO, and you're right in the right vein, FAMPO and Sustainable Sand Hills, they are screaming constantly.
Mhm.
We've got money for EV charging stations. There are several organizations
Yes.
that are tossing money into municipalities to do something like this.
Yes, I just have to find it, so I have Denise already looking for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, we started at Sustainable Sand Hills the same day, so.
And you said you were already looking into other, cause, I was looking up ChargePoint, and they seem to be, the leading.
They are the
premier.
leading, they are a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but I think the reliability and the customer service might be worth the extra that they charge on their subscription, cause they do offer quite a bit.
Awesome. That's all the questions I had. Alderwoman Cooper?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I've been looking into this as well. I don't know what exactly, T-Mobile will give money for, but I do know they do give grants for cities and towns, and I know some cities and towns that have gotten money for different things. The COG may have some money for this, but, I'd also, if you could come back to us as well and let us know what's the estimated cost that other places charge for a vehicle to, charge their vehicles?
I can already give you a couple of prices.
Okay.
The DC fast chargers, Lee Hyundai charges 57 cents a kilowatt. Dirtbag Ales down in Hope Mills, they charge 27 cents.
Okay.
All the free ones in Fayetteville are installed and paid for by PWC. So, and most of the other ones that are free, they're in some kind of network, Ford network, or, Mercedes has a network. So they network together and contribute to that. So I can see if we can get into the Ford network, considering myself.
And we've got a Mercedes-Benz dealership is in Fayetteville, but I mean,
And we lease enterprise cars, so they may be able to,
May I add that to the list
to
here?
a huge EV
yeah,
push.
we lease enterprise vehicles, so they may be willing to help us out.
I will pursue all avenues that are suggested to me.
Thank you.
And one more question about the network, so,
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't cut you off. Go ahead. Good. Her light's off now.
Okay.
And I got it. For the network, that's where we would bank on that network for advertising our, new charging stations, or would we be looking to put up
Well,
some signs? Or
we could
how
do
does
that. The Ford network they have a map on their app that, shows their partner stations throughout the area. And they do collaborate with some of the other dealerships around to add them. They also show some of the charge points, and ChargePoint also shows some of the Ford network things, so. It's a huge number of stations nationwide. Like if I were to pull up my app right now and just pull up the country, it would be covered with station dots. You can't even, you saw it. It's just covered, so.
But for local advertising, are there like EV charging station signs that we would put, at the entry points of the town, or, something that would direct them that way? Is that, or are we just depending on those networked maps for advertising.
I think to them it would be the maps, but I think we could definitely look at investing in, you know, signs or even a billboard that says EV charging now in Spring Lake. So, you know, something small that just says, hey, look, you know, so.
Yeah, because there's no point in putting them there if people don't know. I'm trying to figure out how do we get the money back?
Yes, I agree.
Alderman Blackburn.
Mayor, thank you. Ms. Rosario, thank you. Appreciate the hard work that you're doing. I did hear that you mentioned Veterans Park as putting those stations. Let's look at some other places to put those. Look at the town properties. Before we look at putting those stations at Veterans Park or bringing that up, let's kind of do a second and third order effects on where we want to put these stations, because I'm not completely sold. I get it that that's right there at the edge of Main Street, but that is Veterans Park. And so to create a charging point there, I don't know if that sets the right tone for the Military Veterans Affairs Park.
Well, I can't say that a lot of veterans have EVs and they go on post to charge. So, and that would be a way to bring more people into the park to see the presentation that we've done. We've got an excellent park there.
Sure, let's just look at some other locations as
Okay.
well before we lock in on that.
Okay,
Thank you.
I will continue to look on the GIS for town property and see, you know, what we could use. Any other questions?
Alderman Palacios.
Thank you, Ms. Deanna. So, thank you for all the work that you do for our town and for your work specifically in sustainability. I know that's a large part of what you are responsible for here. And I don't know a lot about charging stations and all that, so I'm eager to learn, and thanks for sharing tonight.
I've got my truck out there if you want.
Can you crash course?
Yeah.
That's on the site training, right? OJT. Awesome. Any other questions? Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, on to new business, agenda item 8A, placement of no littering signs. Alderman Palacios.
Thank you, Mayor. So, in this past summer, I was working with the Appearance Committee on making sure that the town had some no littering signs as part of, you know, the work we do with the Spring Lake Matters group that goes out and cleans every month. Wanted to make sure that we actually had some kind of placement for some notice in some high traffic areas and high polluted areas to make sure that was covered. So the Appearance Committee had talked about putting them at the entrance of each neighborhood. We also wanted them spread out throughout town where pollution was happening, or littering was happening, I should say. And so I gave you a map and just looking for a consensus so we can direct staff to have those signs placed.
If there's no discussion, Alderman Cooper?
I make a motion that
Just
we,
consensus, I just hope for consensus. Did you
Oh,
want
it's a
discussion?
consensus.
Oh, okay. Well, if there's no discussion, well, I'll take a consensus from the board, that we instruct staff to go ahead and get these signs put out. We already have them. Let's go ahead and get them out there. Anybody opposed to that?
I'm not opposed, but, I think maybe we might need to order a few extras if we don't have them already, because, I think it's becoming a serious problem. And, I don't think you can have too many of those signs, and I appreciate the work that, Alderman Lackman and Alderwoman Thompson and Alderman Palacios do every month on the cleanup. And I think people need to know that we mean business when we say we want to keep our community clean. And with that, I'm okay.
Do we know how many signs were purchased? Do you have any idea?
I'm sorry?
Do we have any idea how many signs were purchased?
14.
14.
Mhm.
Okay. So maybe in the future, let's get these 14 put out first and then see if that's adequate. And if we need more, we can look into buying more in the future. But let's go, because we've already purchased these, let's just go ahead and let staff get them out. And then if we see a need, we'll fill a need. Yeah. Any discussion? Alderman Lockman.
Yes, I think instead of just putting the signs out just anywhere we see, I think that's one of the things that the town manager and those that are visibly out and see things throughout the town. So we strategically place those in the worst or in the blighted areas first.
That's what you did, that's what the map is for. So you guys have already done that work. Is
Yeah,
identify
well-
the areas?
Yeah, so the areas were identified based on entrance to neighborhoods, and then the other ones that aren't in the neighborhoods were specifically suggested by me as high littered areas that were also not DOT, but Spring Lake roads.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that it only has to be these areas, certainly not, but
However, the work's been done for those 14 signs.
Yeah.
We've already identified it
Yes.
for those 14,
Yes.
so let's go ahead and move on to 14. And then we'll move if we need more. We're good on that? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Manager, please get us our signs put out.
I don't, where are they?
Mr. Eckert.
Oh.
I haven't even had one right here, you tell them to put signs up, they already over there.
Mr. Eckert, and he confirmed all 14.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They start going up tomorrow.
Oh, goodness.
All right, and we'll go on to agenda item 8B. We have a resolution 2023-3, amending the Spring Lake Community Appearance and Sustainability Committee bylaws. Alderman Palacios.
Thank you, Mayor. So we had more interest in people serving on this committee, and which is a great sign, of course. And it wasn't just about the option to expand the committee for the sake of we have people wanting to join it, because there is a benefit in having an exclusivity and being part of a committee. But I went to the appearance committee this past Wednesday, and they unanimously agreed on amending the charter to increase the size of the appearance committee to allow for any other citizens, and also to allow any business owners that have property, they're of course stakeholders here in town, to be able to be part of that committee as well. We already have one business owner who does not live in Spring Lake, part of that because of course their vested interest in the town. There is a change, and they unanimously agreed to that, by the way. There is a change that I added, and so I'll direct you to Article 3, to the line that says, "All members serve at the pleasure of the Board of Aldermen and may be removed by the board with or without cause." That is a change I suggested be input in here, and that is because while it may be an obvious, if you're appointed to serve on the board, that you can be removed by the board, but I suggested it be amended to include that for clarification. In the event, we have a committee that has absence or quorum issues that kind of frustrate the purpose and the progress of the board, that we can make that happen by removing that problem. Also, let me see, is there any other, and that was the only other thing, so if it's okay, if I want to go ahead and make a motion that we approve resolution 2023-3, amending the Spring Lake Community Appearance and Sustainability Committee bylaws.
Okay, we have some discussion. I do have a few questions myself. You said the Article 3 addition, all members will serve at the pleasure of the board. Was that voted on by the committee, or was that just put in, is that something you put in?
That was not voted on by the committee. That was a request I'm adding to this amendment.
Okay. I think you should definitely get committee input before amending the bylaws, just so it's not a unilateral move. Just
Yeah, so,
one, because you're ex officio.
no, it's that's a great point. And so I consulted other committee bylaws in reference to that, because that's not something in any of Spring Lake Committee's bylaws. And so, I looked at Durham City, they have it. I looked at another one, I believe in Moore County, they have that amendment or they have that in their charter, but, and then there was some discussion when Mr. Durham was here about having that, but having a statement that says that if the board appoints you, the board can remove you, is an important step. And for clarification, I would request that of any committee chair, committee bylaws amendment that come before this board.
Yeah, fully agree that it should be in there, just don't wanna put it in there without it going through the advisory committee.
Yeah, that's another thing is this charter is a Spring Lake Board charter. This is not a committee charter.
Mhm.
So any amendments this board desires to make should be able to make those amendments. And Mr. Porter has anything, a problem with that?
I have no problems.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that statement rather that if Spring Lake, this board desires to?
I would have to look at that. I'm not gonna give it a legal opinion on the fly.
Yeah.
Like any good lawyer.
So there was, one other question for the amendment in Article X, and I think it was just a mistype. It says, this charter may be amended from time to time by the Board of Aldermen or upon the recommendation. So I was thinking it was supposed to say, this charter was to be amended from time to time by the Board of Aldermen, removing the or, just upon the recommendation from a simple majority, because it's with the or in there saying either the board or the simple majority has control. So we take the or out, and it's just saying the board has that authority upon the recommendation.
So this was specifically worded that way for a reason.
Okay.
So, and that is to clarify, in my opinion, it's a clarification that this board can make any changes to this committee bylaw, or it can be upon the simple majority of the committee itself for the board to approve.
So it's giving the board to act without the advice or the advisory or oversight from the committee.
To change the bylaws as the board deems necessary.
Okay. That's the clarification. So the or is supposed to be there. It's the board, or we can do it by ourselves as the board, or we can do it upon recommendation from the advisory committee.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, do you want to go ahead and restate your motion, with any, addition or corrections? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed your light. Alderman Hooker.
Thank you. I would, I can't, I don't know if the attorney had a chance to see all of these changes. Did you get a chance to see these?
Just the language. I did not get into any conversations about what the purpose was or who had looked at it in advance. So I'm relying on you all for that.
Okay, so, if not, I would ask that we make sure we are, on solid legal ground before we make any motions or approve or deny. I would just like to, because I do agree that it is, these boards or committees are, they serve at the pleasure of the board. But I just wanna make sure we are, on good, solid legal ground, if that's okay with Alderman Palacios. If we just have that looked at first.
So whatever the board wants to do on this, my motion is on the table as it stands, as it's stated now. But if it doesn't have a second, or of course dies because of lack of a second or because of dissent, then that's okay too. I respect that.
How about we just table it? We don't want to table it for right now. We give our attorney a chance to look it over, making sure that the language is correct. Because I believe these additions need to be added, and I advise the other committees to go through their bylaws too, just to make sure that the language is clear and concise. I believe you guys are the Military and Veterans Affairs. You guys have already gone through yours. So you're in the works with us. Let's all take this as, a step for looking into our own committees and making sure that those bylaws are correct. So let's get this over to him. We can just table it for now. Get it back to the
I'll have
attorney
an
to look at
answer
it.
well before, so I can get on the next agenda.
Yeah, and we'll get these bylaws approved.
I mean, I believe you're probably right.
Yeah, that's okay. I respect that, and I'll withdraw my motion. I'll just approve it this time.
Awesome. We'll just take it, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. We'll move on to agenda item 8C, the Military Veterans Advisory Committee Board removal request. Alderman Lackman.
Mayor, thank you. Over the course of COVID kind of dwindling down, we've had a lot of interest in the military veterans affairs. Also during that time, people have had other commitments that have precluded them from effectively serving with the military and veterans affairs. So over this past few months, we've had a couple resignations. We've had Richard Alexander and Wayne Davidson that have requested to be removed from the military veterans affairs. And then we had a couple members that weren't showing up to the meetings and were precluding us from being able to move forward with the committee. So the committee as a whole went ahead and removed Leland Burns and Josh Maynard and wanted to bring these four up to the board so that, because as a board they were voted on to serve, but to remove these. Now, what this does is this brings our numbers down to 6. And so on our committee, that allows us 7 people that's on there. So 2 of these members were part of organizations. So one is, both of them have withdrawn, so we're kind of looking at opening it up to the general public for one additional person, whether it be an organization that has military veterans affairs ties, or it's a member of the general public within the Spring Lake municipal influence. So to the people out there, YouTube and in person, we are looking for another member to serve on the Military Veterans Affairs Committee.
So do you want to go ahead and make the motion?
Yes, Mayor, I do. Mayor, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that the 4 individuals, the 2 voluntary resignations, Richard Alexander and Wayne Davidson, and then also the 2 removals, Leland Burns and Josh Maynard, being brought before the board to have them removed from the Military Veterans Affairs Committee.
Is there a second? Alderwoman Thompson?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries to have those committee members removed. Awesome. So now it is my turn. 8D, employee benefits. Yay, good stuff. So I say constantly how hard our staff works, how hard they have been working continuously, consistently, diligently over the past few years. And in recent times, they've really been operating on a shoestring budget, understaffed, and with a litany of other problems, be it software or equipment. Our employees have really committed to making sure that the town of Spring Lake continues to grow and will soon thrive. And so myself, on behalf of the Board of Aldermen, have been looking for resources and benefits that we can bring back to our employees to show them that we appreciate them, to show them that, although we can't, give you all massive bonuses and raises, we can find some free services and initiatives that could, assist you in your personal life. And those things will translate into better employees for the town. So myself, Alderwoman Cooper, and Mr. Williams had the chance to sit with T-Mobile. They offered us a variety of services, bells and whistles and trinkets and shiny things for the town that we will discuss at a later date. But one of the things that we could start immediately was an incentives program for the employees. So this costs the town absolutely nothing. There is no setup, there is no, we don't even have to do any additional work. What we would only have to do is authorize our manager and staff to work with T-Mobile to bring in a service, and it's in your packet. What they want to do is offer all of our staff the opportunity to come to T-Mobile, get unlimited everything, data, calls, unlimited everything for $35 a month for up to 7 lines. So this is an additional savings that, again, costs the town nothing. It's completely optional. It's just saying, here's an avenue to go down if you choose to provide some cost savings for the employees. That was one of the programs. One of the ones that really got me excited was a program that's been initiated throughout the entire Cumberland County school systems. What happened is they have a student loan forgiveness program, and this is an at cost or no cost, no obligation, another alternative to partner with what is it, Old Fayetteville? I can't remember the name of it. What is it? Old Fayetteville Insurance. So they offer to government officials, municipalities, the opportunity to have their student loans reduced. And again, it's a no-cost program. We would just instruct staff to work with Old Fayetteville to be able to offer this option to our employees. The program basically allows you to work with a designated representative. They'll walk you through the process of getting your student loans reduced. And they do this for up to 10 years. And this is based on your payment into your student loan repayment program. And any monies paid into the program after 10 years could be reimbursed back to the employee if they've already paid, over 10 years into their student loan repayment. Or their debt is canceled if they're in the program up to 10 years. And this is all being done while they're working to reduce your payments. For example, there was a teacher in the Cumberland County school systems who was paying over $1,100 a month for student loans. Once the county implemented this program, they were able to get her loan repayment down to $87 a month. That's life-changing for a teacher to have that type of money given back to you. There was another lady who had paid into her student loan repayment for 13 years. She signed up with the program. She was reimbursed the 3 years she paid additionally into that 10-year loan repayment program, and the rest of her loans were forgiven. So again, it's no cost to the town, no labor to the town, but an added optional benefit for our staff to say thank you. So all I'm asking is for we take a consensus to allow staff to work with T-Mobile and Old Fayetteville to offer these benefits to our employees. Is there any discussion, objection? I know you guys would be in favor of this. So, Mr. Manager, if we could go ahead and reach out to T-Mobile and Old Fayetteville, get those benefits packages going. And those are just the two that are finalized for our staff. Stay tuned because there are some other avenues that aren't quite finalized yet. But we're looking to bring some more opportunities here for you because you work so hard for us, for this community, and we just want to say thank you in any way we could. Alderman Cooper.
So one of the things that T-Mobile offered that's not in this that I wanted to ask Ms. Williams to ask them about was they've invested about $7 billion into free mobile service for first responders. So I want to know if we'll be able to allow our first responders to take advantage of that, and how do we go about doing that? They not only do that, but they also, in like a time of crisis, or like say when Florence happened, they boost their phones so that they get priority on the network. So I do want to see if we can also, if that's okay with everybody, to see if we can get that for our first responders as well.
I'll check into that, but I believe it was if we sign on with the contract with the town, then that's when we get it, but I will check it out.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will now move on to AE, Mayor's Report. I get to keep going. So, Mayor's updates really quickly. I know hot topic, and everybody's been calling, emailing, Facebooking, sending smoke signals, trying to figure out what's happening with the cemetery in that area. Yes, there was some erosion in the pipes. Yes, we had a slight landslide, and it caused the road to cave in. DOT is there now. They are eradicating the problem. So once you see those big trucks and big pipes move out of the way, we don't foresee having, the streets cave in that area anymore. So please be patient with us. They are working diligently to fix that problem and open our roads back up. We also had a chance to, oh, wait a minute, let me start off with the fun stuff. Happy Super Bowl day after. Although I did not watch the Super Bowl, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you. But I really wanted to bring light to the Super Bowl simply because there is a local player, Mr. Joshua Williams. He is a graduate of Fayetteville State University Bronco Pride. And they won the, come on, they won the Super Bowl. So we definitely want to send some congratulations to Mr. Williams and a big shout out to Fayetteville State for again contributing to the success of major sports. we do it well. So. We got a chance to, as the board, we met with the General Assembly, our Cumberland County delegation from the General Assembly. It was a very successful meeting. We got a chance to talk about things like our water sewer infrastructure. We talked about transportation. We talked about Main Street revitalization. We talked about electric vehicles and funding for that. And we also talked about something that I think doesn't get enough notoriety yet, and I would love some community support behind getting some funding for the Muttsburg project. And if you guys are not familiar with that, please inquire about it. We have a beautiful piece of land that was gifted to the town, walking trails right on the Little River. And now with us merging with Cumberland County Parks and Rec, I would love to see the county push some funding towards revitalizing that Muttsburg Park project, as well as us getting some funding from the state. So that was a very successful meeting. We also got a chance to, the General Assembly is back in session. So definitely I will stay tuned to them so that any legislative updates that are coming down from the state, I'll make sure that the town is aware of what's happening. We also had a chance, myself, Alderwoman Cooper and Alderman Palacios, we had a chance to speak with the treasurer. This was a meeting that we had been, trying to get off the ground for a very long time. I think the outcome of that meeting is going to be better communication from both sides and a more healthier work environment for all involved. We got a chance to really talk candidly and address some concerns as elected officials and for our LGC staff. And I really think that this meeting, the concerns were heard, and I do hope, and I'm hopeful that we'll have, better working relationships with both the LGC staff and the commission. The HOPE initiative, so for about a year and some change now, we have been trying to push this HOPE initiative. It is a partnership with FTCC to bring in skilled trades training and services to our soft skill services to our community and to our staff. So Mr. Marvin Price at FTCC brought his entire staff. They are adamant about getting this program off the ground. He brought the whole think tank. We got a chance to sit down, really hammer out some details and an outline for this program to come here. They are doing pretty much all the legwork. We're waiting for them to come back after going through the surveys that were submitted from the community when this initiative was really starting to be pushed. And they're coming back with some data, and we should have some courses set up here within the next couple of months. So this is a huge initiative for the community with job training, job access. They partner not only with organizations to help train you in resume prep. They're not only giving you the classes for HVAC or plumbing, they are also partnered with employers. So once you complete the training, they will match you with an employer so that you are, getting, again, full circle service from training to staffing. on March 31st, we are having the Mayor's Coalition meeting will be here in the boardroom. Spring Lake is hosting this coalition meeting. I highly encourage our community to come out. This will be, we'll be talking again about the sales tax agreement with the county with the transfer from per capita to ad valorem. So if you have something to say, if you want to directly address the commissioners, this will be here in our boardroom on March 31st at 8 a.m. Breakfast will be served. So yes, I'm using the food to entice you to come. We will have some hot breakfast, but definitely please come out. This is critical information, and this is something that's going to affect Spring Lake for our duration. So it's huge that you guys show up if you can. And I believe that is all I have for right now. I will pass it on to our aldermen and women and stuff. Oh, I've talked a lot. So I had a chance to attend the North Carolina Mayors Association meeting this past weekend. I also had a chance to do some mayor's training for newly elected officials. So that was very insightful in learning more details about how to maneuver from this platform. I've never been a mayor before, if you guys didn't know. So with this being my first time around, I try to, you know, if there's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to respect this position more by knowing more about this position, then I'm all for it. We had a chance to really talk about the structure from the seat, engaging with staff, engaging with the community, policy setting, budget administration. So there were so many good things happening there, and I'm really excited that we are a part of the North Carolina Mayors Association, because the networks that you build there, the type of information that you're getting from communities that have gone through situations that you're in currently, and vice versa. Spring Lake is now becoming a hub for how do I work with the LGC. I had several communities that are currently on the watch list come and, you know, commend us for the work that has been done in Spring Lake, and asking questions like, how do we navigate this road forward with the LGC? How do we come off of the watch list? So definitely want to commend the board, the staff, and the employees, because you are being watched, but they're seeing nothing but good things. And I can stand proud to say, once I gave this report of, you know, balanced budgets and current bank reconciliations and, you know, criminals being locked away, we actually received, you know, a pretty good standing ovation for that. So I want to pass that back off to staff, the board, and our managers for the work that they've put in. And that is all I have. Nothing else for me. I'm going to be quiet now and drink some water. Alderwoman Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Pro Tem. I'm being quiet. I did, sorry. First, I want to say tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so happy Love Day. Mayor Pro Tem Robert Chadwick. And I also want to just hit on that we do have a person in our community that is working with domestic violence and the homeless population, and that you can, if you want more information, you can go visit the website at www.thekenziehouse.org. I know many of you may not know about this nonprofit organization, but we do have someone that's working diligently in our area to help combat this situation. And secondly, I just want to say that since I am a school teacher, and I also try to keep our parents and constituents informed, next week on Monday and Tuesday, students will not have school, so please do not put them at the bus stop. Nobody's going to get Thank you. Happy Love Day.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I also had a busy week last week because after many of the mayors in North Carolina left the Mayor's Coalition, some of them came and joined me at UNC School of Government, where I attended the annual ambassadors, training, which is, Advanced Leadership Corps. I just recently found out that this year was our 9th class, and there have only been 185 of us in those 9 years. And, I was there to refresh my training. We trained on Model the Way, where we had a debate on whether local government should fund low-income housing. We also had a robust discussion, and both days it was modified by, it was sponsored by an organization called Braver Angels. And they help you learn how to manage conflict, how to, when people don't have the training that we got, how do you relate to them and get them to understand your point? So we had a lot of people who gave me kudos for what we're doing here in Spring Lake. As the mayor said, people are paying attention. And, I'm hoping, I'm only the second person from Spring Lake to attend that training. It's originally a 6-day, a 6-day residential training at UNC. Mayor Chris Ray was the first one. He was in the inaugural class. I'm the second, and I'm hoping some of my fellow board members will apply for next year. It is an amazing program. It really helps you sharpen your leadership skills, hone in on what what you need to improve. Because I'll be honest with you, I took it in 2020, and in 2020 I would have never volunteered to be one of the main speakers on the debate, but I did it this year. So, and I look forward to continuing to go back every year. And other than that, we do have a lot of, what do you call it? I'm the infectious disease person. There are some new ones going around. I have a new training this week. COVID is still real. The numbers are only low because a lot of people are taking at-home tests, so the numbers don't get recorded. If you have a family of 4 who test positive, maybe only one has to test because they need to test for their job. So, the numbers, it's not as bad. The variant is not as deadly as Delta, but it is still out here. So be careful. Still continue to wash your hands and wear your mask in places that are really crowded.
Alderman Palacios?
Thank you, Mayor. So February 4th, we had a town cleanup through the Spring Lake Matters group, and we tried to pick up the slack for Alderman Lackman. He had to be absent. But we had 7 volunteers come out in 25-degree weather.
Oh, yeah.
And we had some high school students. Me and Alderwoman Thompson were out there organizing. We had some high school students. We had a dad bring his daughter Phoebe out, and we also want to recognize our collaboration with Sustainable Sandhills, because a lot of those individuals that came out found out so because of the promotion through Sustainable Sandhills. So that's a great partnership. We also had Michelle, who worked with our residents at Cumberland Gardens, and Drea, who has a shop there at South Winds Plaza. And so we appreciate those residents. We picked up 14 DOT bags worth of trash throughout Spring Lake. Our next appearance committee is March 8th at 4 p.m. here in Town Hall. We have some exciting things going on with the appearance committee. We have a mural project we're working on, and we have Adopt a Street that we're trying to repackage. And if there are any residents out there, business owners that have Adopt a Street signs out and you are interested in renewing your commitment, please get with the appearance committee to renew your interest in adopting your street. And when we also have Earth Day cleanup for the town of Spring Lake. So every spring, the town does a cleanup, and this year falls on Earth Day, which is April 22nd, and more information will be coming out about that. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderwoman Thompson?
Again, I would like to just piggyback off of Alderman Palacios about the volunteers that came out in that cold weather. And then also, I will be working on a subcommittee with Sergeant Utley for the up-and-coming 2023 torch run. So we'll have a meeting next month, and I'll keep you all updated, and that's all I have.
Awesome. Alderman Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. And from the Chiefs Kingdom, Joshua Williams is number 23. So, from the Chiefs Kingdom, the Super Bowl champion Chief Kingdom.
Okay.
So when you see these white and gold and red number 23s out there, it's got Williams on the back. That is quite an accomplishment for a D2 school for him to be integral in the winning of the 38-35 game. So just want to put that out. So,
I appreciate that.
So Joshua Williams from Spring Lake. Ooh. So. Yep. So, to the residents out there, you know, this has been quite a little more than a year that we have been working on trying to find the bottom, get the bottom, and start moving forward. So, things are changing, and your input that you all have out here is being heard. And so, keep the interest involved, keep bringing stuff forward. A lot of the information that you bring up is what is making a change today. So keep it up. We appreciate that. Our next cleanup, I spoke enough on the cleanup, but March 4th will be our next cleanup that we've got. Got big plans on that. Stay tuned. We'll see if we make this come forth. Chief, I'm looking at you on that.
I see.
So when you give me the word, then we can get that put out there. But Chief, have you seen the cans? So I'm addressing you as Chief, not Mr. Williams. I'm addressing you as Chief. Have you seen that big old
The cans are pretty topped off.
that big old bucket of cans out
They
there?
are supposed to be going off this week, and I'll tell you how much they raised for the burn children.
So let us know when that's gone, so then the residents out there know that they can start working to fill that up and get that back out there.
I'll be glad.
But, you know, thank you for that program that you've got out there. For those that are in need when that happens, they greatly appreciate that. And that is I don't want to say a simple little thing that's done, but it's something that, again, is no cost to the town. It's something that Chief Williams, Mr. Williams has brought forth to here. So the residents that utilize that, the impact is just tremendous. So thank you for that. Mayor, that's all I've got today.
Awesome. Mr. Williams?
Couple things for me. 87 and Odell Road should be getting cleaned up. I know that Odell Road got cleaned up. Still a little bit bumpy, but they did put the sidewalk back in. They are working to get that thing completed, and they should be covering it up. Talked to Tim there a second ago. You said this week they'll be paving 87? Yeah. So 87 will be complete, so we can get ourselves back to Chapel Hill Road. So that'll be all cleaned up. But it's one of those things that happen to happen. But I appreciate everybody's patience on that. Jamie, this is for you. They're working on Dunkin' Donuts.
I know, right? I know.
Okay.
I pass it every day.
All right, because that was her thing. She complained every day she come in here that Dunkin' Donuts wasn't doing nothing. They're doing something.
I'll make the coffee.
But they are. You see them working hard up there on Spring Avenue and Boulevard. We have 7 Brews right down there. They're doing great. We appreciate them coming to town. Wing Company hung their signs up the other day. They're coming to town. So I mean, there's a lot coming to this little town. I mean, people are starting to notice that we're doing good things. I think they're wanting to get on board. We had a good conversation with GFL. I always say that wrong the other day.
Very good conversation.
We had a very good conversation with them. You'll see the trash company doing a lot better. We got somebody issued to me and the mayor that we can call and say, hey, something's wrong. So we have that. And also, she said, handle to the house.
That's it.
If you put your, it's kind of crazy, kind of stuck though, but if you roll your cart out there, put the handle to the house. I thought she ought to really push that thing, but it helps the trash trucks to pick them up. If you have problems with any of your trash cans or whatever, let us know. We'll get them replaced. We've got a good contract with them now. I think it's going to work out pretty well with these guys. And that is all I have.
Yeah, I definitely want to double tap that GFL handles to the house. We get a lot of complaints about trash that's being strewn about when they dump the containers. There's trash flying out. And we're getting complaints about the broken lids. All of that can be alleviated or at least minimized if we do handle to the house. So that, just remember, when you're taking your bin out, most people are dragging them like this. Just don't forget to turn them around. What's that? It's going to, and they have arrows actually on top of the bins, but if you're not, you know, a weirdo reader like me, you're not gonna pay attention to those arrows on top of the bin. So just remember, handle to the house, and that'll help the town save money. It'll help GFL. It'll minimize the debris that's being strewn about from them emptying the trash can backwards. That's what's breaking our lids off. So handle to the house, handle to the house, handle to the house.
I think we got
All right, Mr. Porter?
handle to the house. All's quiet on my front.
Always good. Awesome. Okay. Well, we will move on to agenda item 9. I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session. Who goes first? Who goes first? Mayor Pro Tem? I'll make the motion to go into closed session. Mayor, Alderwoman Cooper?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? We are now into closed session. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you. Great to Yes, ma'am. Alderman Palacios.
Make a motion to adjourn, Mayor.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?